Hey there, it's Koshade, and I'm here today with Sharkbait. What's going on,
Hey,
Shark?
hey, not a whole lot, man. How you doing?
I am doing fantastic today. It's getting to be that like fall to fall. It's just solid fall. Okay, we're not in winter yet. It's just solid
Yeah.
fall right now. But this is a game, the finals game, 2023, um, Mage Wars League.
You may have noticed it's been a little while.
We actually didn't. Ooh, we're just gonna not reveal Knabbmaster's entire hand there.
Yeah.
This is a replay from Knabbmaster. This is Knabbmaster versus Enti or Enti, as you see here.
I think you get that
And
right that time. You good.
looks like in the top left we have Knabbmaster playing Druid, and bottom right Enti playing the Adromalic Warlock. Ooh,
I
that's
know what I'm rooting for.
now I know Nab plays a beastly Adromalic, and so it's interesting seeing this sort of like okay, Nab kind of knows what Adromalic Warlock can do, so it's sort of interesting to see Nab like having to deal with that, especially because of that weakness to fire and being
Yeah.
plants and all that sort of thing.
Like the plants may be weak to fire, but like the druid is a very good board presence game. So
Yeah, yeah,
it
it's
may
so
be
good.
weak-ish, but like it takes a lot to cut through the grass. So
Now I don't know how much you remember this, Shark, but we actually played a ton of Adromalic versus Druid games
oh, I
because we
remember
were like,
them very much. I'm still scarred.
I was scarred as well. But like the big thing is, do you play tree turn one, or do you hold off? Because Adromalic Warlock can sort of snipe that tree if they choose to rush. And so in my head, I don't know what Napster's thinking. Maybe he's got just the perfect counter that I never thought of. But in my head, I always go like set up better to hit them turn one because they're gonna go for your tree. But we'll see how it plays out. These are two,
Yeah, we'll see how it plays out.
finalists here. So like this could be completely different in terms of that.
Yeah, some of the interesting things I found as the Adremelic player is that, you can technically go snipe the tree, but a lot of times just going straight for the tree and gunning for it like that will expose you to either counterattacks or it gives the druid time to be like, here's the tree, come hit it, and they're setting themselves up to just smoke you right after it's gone. So
Yeah.
you can't, I don't think that rushing the tree, unless you can find a way to surprise them, and I don't know how you do that, but like, unless you can get in their face faster than they're expecting, you're probably not better off. You're probably better off doing a little bit of setup and then just forcing the tree down because they can't really stop you if you focus on it like that. But while you're doing that, they can also have plenty of time to either hit you, set up board presence, control the whole rest of the arena. And so it's not exactly as easy as throw fireball, do good, right? So,
Right. Yeah, and like
yeah.
I'm totally a believer in that too. I think going for the tree, rushing for it, is almost always a bad idea.
Mhm.
I find that the trade-off like makes it so you're a little bit weaker because you spent all your resources on something that they got very cheap. Is it a tree?
Yeah.
No, it's gonna be Philella.
Ooh. Yeah,
Interesting.
that's a different one. I'm wondering, yeah, there's a lot of ways to handle Philella too, as the Adrenaline Warlock, based on the fact that Flame Blast is in school. And we're seeing the I don't want to call it typical, but like the double forged Adrenaline Warlock is something that I think Knabbmaster popularized
Agreed.
back in
Yeah.
time, and has made some very nasty builds that do that.
Yeah. Double Battleforge. Like, you don't think of it as being really good, but like it basically lets you gear up for things like curses, equipment. Like it's a lot
Hmm.
of cheap leather that lets you just mitigate damage, and then you can always just like not have one there. Let it save up a little
Hmm.
mana, or rotate that sort of thing. Like
Yeah.
it's a good economy play, and if you need the equipment, then you've got the double free actions from that.
And in this matchup in particular, it does a couple things for you, right? So from the Warlock standpoint, it absolutely saves you actions because it gets you ready to go without having to spend all of your actions on doing that. And it can theoretically draw out some of the water spells the Druid may have. Because the
Yes,
Druid has those in school for the Druid.
and that Hydra plus
Or the
three.
level ones, excuse me, sorry.
And Hydra plus three, honestly, like it's not even that scary because usually they have to spend 10 mana doing two surging waves or something like that because Hydra 3, like, oh yeah, okay, so I'm rolling an extra 3, but it has 4 armor on this. So, like, if you get
Right.
it in one shot, great, but you're usually spending more actions and
You're
mana.
almost always spending 2 actions on it,
Yeah.
sometimes 3 if you roll poorly. Um, and that's an okay trade from the Warlock perspective. It's not great because you don't really want to lose the Battle Forge, but with 2 of them, you're like, okay,
Right.
we can take that.
And it's interesting here that so Nab chose not to go with the tree. I'm actually curious if he had similar ideas or if it's just something different. But maybe he just needed the mana for something this round, so he needs Philella out, or I don't
Is
know.
the mana, or just like Philella can also, from the other perspective, Philella can help with that action thing. I guess the tree can too, but like Philella's a little bit more. I don't want to say flexible, but can start causing havoc on her own,
Right.
and
Like,
then set it up so that you're in a good spot regardless of what the enemy tries to do.
yeah, Philella's definitely one of those, familiars that it's all enchantments. So you can do curses, you can do buffs, and being in the nature school, you have insane amounts of flexibility.
So much
with how
flexibility.
you could sort of react. Poison blood, probably one of the more popular curses
Yep,
you'll
very
see.
good one.
But
I think Rust will show up a lot because it's in school as
yeah,
well for the
oh
druid.
yeah. And I'm kind of curious because Philella usually means that we'll see some sort of big creature like a bear or something. But Druid being one of the most tankiest mages out there, having a bonded tree, being able to transfer to while having regen to. I'm curious to see if this is going to be sort of like a more solo-ish with some plant spatter around, that sort of
Right,
thing.
not solely focused on growing a forest out there and doing
Espe-
the Thrasher pull thing.
especially without a vine tree.
Well, I think we'll see a vine tree sooner than later.
Oh yeah, for
it's
sure.
Just a matter of when. And in this case, again, since you're not really losing a lot on the board presence here by delaying a turn with it, because you're still going to get your economy rolling with Philella and the flower, you can wait and see where the tree is the safest. And interestingly, in this case, the tree will be the safest, I think, in the corner they're currently in.
Oh yeah,
But,
now there's not a rush. Like,
yeah.
I feel like a vine tree next turn in this corner is super safe. You want to start spreading those vines a little bit more. And honestly, you can just start countering stuff because
Yep, that's exactly it.
a Thorn Lasher in this center zone, you can kind of tickle the 2 Battle Forges if you have nothing other to do, that sort of thing, and just kind of set yourself up to be able to keep them in one zone and just kind of just win that way.
Oh, I agree with you 100% on that one. The druid is still able to do a lot of the things the druid does well, which is control the board and basically turn it into an attrition kind of game. The druid is very good at the attrition game, partially because of the regen, partially because of the life bond, and life bond still works even if there's a deathlock on the field. So like, there's the druid's a very, very tanky mage.
Yeah, definitely one of the scarier ones. I'm gonna go ahead and skip forward a little bit. Let Enti, he had to go away for a second. Let's just see this next round.
Moving right along with the 1.5 speed, or quite a few speed here.
Yeah, I'll be right back. Enti putting the 2 cards on these 2 Battle Forges. Interesting.
I'm guessing of equipment that are always going to be good actions no matter what happens, and then more setup, I think, from Enti before moving over to handle the incoming tree and or Philella, depending on the board state at the time.
All right,
oh, hey, look, a ring and some leather.
Okay, yeah, this is really interesting choices here. So the ring obviously is like a sort of economy play. You're obviously going to see curses out of the Adramalic, so great play.
Yep.
And just some basic armor. Oh,
there's some serious economy going on here from the Adramalic Warlock, which is sometimes good. It's just trying to keep up economy with the Druid can always lead you down a path that's just hard to sustain, right? But seeing the Enchanter's Warstone kind of levels that playing field a little bit, because it costs a little bit extra to take out the curses you will inevitably be playing on the enemy in some fashion. So that's an interesting one. I don't know that I would have moved up, because that puts you in range of I kind of figured actually a curse was coming from the druid, but yeah, I guess maybe not. Maybe it's good to move up then.
And look at this play. Philella enchanting the druid. I mean, it could be just any typical druid.
Yeah, it's probably Rhinohide or probably Barkskin, one of the two. In either case, you're sitting on 3 armor already as the druid.
Yeah, and then some leather pants. We got the boots coming down.
Yeah.
So we're at 1 armor each. That Philella is really rocking. That vine tree coming down.
Mm-hmm. At this point, I don't think the Druid is threatened enough to change their game plan, and I think that's not necessarily an indictment of the Dynamic Warlock, but just how good the Druid is at setting up and being basically forcing everybody else to play their game.
It's super flexible right now.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like Knabbmaster's at 13 mana. Enti's at 16. Didn't see any curses from this first cast of Ring, but that's never necessarily a bad thing. And of course, this is Enchantress Wardstone. That could be what allows Enti to, get a mana advantage a little bit over time.
Either a mana advantage or make it so that a curse or two sticks longer than it should have.
And like even Seeking Dispel, is just so annoying. To be like, oh, I have to pay 4 mana for this. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's insurance and it's attacks basically.
Yeah, right.
So I think it's overall it's a cool play to see.
Mm-hmm.
And it's far enough back that the Druid is going to have trouble getting there anytime soon to go undo that. Assuming they want to. But, I still think the Druid is particularly capable of just powering through so many things.
It's true. I mean, like, there's a few things to worry about if you're Knabbmaster. The double fireball for the tree, that is being threatened right now. And,
that is. I mean, I think it depends. If you see a mask come off one of these, like the Demon Hide mask, if you see that come off the Battleforge, then you probably should start expecting an attack.
Right. Demon Hide mask notably getting that piercing one.
The piercing one's huge.
The Fire Shaper ring being a really good choice as well.
It's not a bad one. I think there's probably a Hawkeye on the Warlock, and so a Hawkeye would probably do just enough there too. Though it could just be ring and mask, and you throw fireballs. I don't know. There's a few options for how to set that up, right? And I think all of them are viable. It's just a matter of doing it. I don't know that taking out the tree. While the tree is a high priority target, I don't know that sets Enti up for being ahead yet either. Like there's a lot of work still to do after the tree falls, assuming the tree would fall this turn on 16 mana, which I just realized with 16 mana you can't throw 2 fireballs and have a mask and have reveal Hawkeye.
Yeah.
Right? So you're kind of there's a lot that you want to do and just not a lot of mana to do it.
2 blank fireballs, or neutral fireballs. I mean that still is pretty good against a tree, but like
it's not bad.
When you're looking at 2 armor,
not ideal either.
That sort of thing, you're like, oh no, these burns have to take it out.
Yeah. 2 fireballs of 8 dice each against 8 or 12 life, 2 armor.
Yeah,
I think statistically just barely gets it. Like it puts you at like 60-odd%, but that's not something I would gamble the whole game on.
Yeah, it feels so bad. This is a championship match here, and like it feels so bad if you do miss it, because then it's like they just start transferring the damage to the Druid, and they're like, now you have to waste another fireball, but then it's 3 fireballs gone.
Assuming you have another fireball.
Yeah,
you
right.
Have to step in and do Flame Blast.
True. And it's just like it's so like.
Yeah.
That's kind of why we were talking about, like, do you take out the tree or not? It's so much resources that if you miss it, like...
By the time you give yourself a roughly 80% chance of taking out the tree, the Druid doesn't give a shit.
Yeah, and, like, here's the thing. Like, if you miss it, then the Druid's way ahead. But if you kill it, then it's like you're maybe a little bit better than neutral. Like, the Druid's not absolutely screwed. You know what I mean?
It's something I think you have to do, but I don't think it's something you have to do on turn 1. Or 2.
Yeah.
I think you want to make sure you have a roughly 80+% chance of knocking out the tree before you do it.
I agree. I think
that runs the risk of the Druid just taking over the board.
Yeah, turn 4 to 6 is what I remember really seeing a bad time to lose the tree. Like when it's like they've got things controlled and they're just like, time to take this out.
Yeah, right. Like, okay, cool, you killed the tree. It's time for you to die. Here's the thorn pole. Here's the thing that I've been setting up while you've been gearing up for the tree, whatever it ends up being.
So, I mean, that being said, another option that we could see here is maybe more curses. I mean, the Enchantress Wardstone could be, defensively to say, don't get rid of my Hawkeye. But it could also be a good tool of being like, I'm going to start, cursing you in some sort of way, making you slow, making you lose actions, that sort of thing. We're going to see what happens with that.
I do think in this case it indicates the early game plan of the Adrenaline Warlock being a curse-based attrition kind of thing too. Like try to apply some curses to get a little bit of an advantage, and when they're stuck dealing with those, you take down the tree, you take down the plants that show up, you do that kind of stuff.
Great.
So I do think that's what it's indicating, but the thing I remember loving in particular about the Adrenaline Warlock is that you can go from 0 to 60 very fast. You can go
Oh
from
yeah.
nowhere to throwing a ton of damage very quickly. And so I think the really good way to do that, or the best players of the Adrenaline Warlock are the ones who can figure out when to step on the gas pedal.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree
Because
with
I
that.
don't think just stepping on the gas pedal out of the gate is the right play, but if you catch someone off guard, suddenly you're way ahead of them in the race.
I mean, like some of the classic curses, right? Is like poison blood,
Rust.
rust to get rid of 2 armor. Then they have a curse on them, flame +1, mark for death being
Yep.
probably one
Mark
of the
for Death
most.
is another good one.
Like
Yep.
if you play Adrenaline Warlock, you should probably play mark for death because the ability to get flame +2 is like insane on just one reveal.
Yeah, I would probably start with like if I'm strictly staying from where I am right now. If I'm right now and I'm Enti, I would probably start with Ghoul Rot Poison Blood.
Yeah.
Because then they have to deal with, well, I don't even know if Poison Blood helps because the tree, but like something to do some kind of damage on them, right?
Yeah.
But
yeah, because I mean, we saw
Mage Bane
that
may not be bad.
we saw that Enti casted all of his spells here, so that was probably a smart move because he's like, I didn't have initiative, and Philella casting a spell on the Druid, like I immediately think that's gonna be a like a nullify or something like that, and like
Nullify is a good possibility.
as Enti you have to go, okay, I have to think of the possibility. Do I waste my valuable curses on something that could just be nullified when I need it to stick? And I think that's something that Enti, we haven't seen him put cards down yet. That's probably what he's considering is like, if I curse you, how's this going to work? Like, do I waste both my actions trying to curse you and hopefully one gets through or they both get through? That sort of thing.
Yep. You're right. I think there's an interesting amount of viable options here.
Yeah,
so.
and with Philella having another card on her, it's like now you have to use both your actions at once, which lets Knabbmaster have free reign on the board for the turn.
A bit. Though the Knabbmaster has now got 4 potential spells to cast during a turn and only 13 mana, 14, 15 mana-ish to do it.
True that.
So it's not like he has complete reign of nothing, but it is a good setup to be ready for a lot of things. And
I of course, always respect the druid that that goes in and just bear strength and starts hitting phases.
Right, bear strength and what's the 3x, the war one? That gives you critical strike.
Critical strike, yeah, just piercing 3.
I'll pay 3 points for it. I don't care.
It's always a good one too. All right, we're gonna go ahead and just fast forward here while Enti decides if he's gonna be cursing or not.
Right, get some time. That's all right. Yeah, I think this is going to be an interesting turn to see what happens. I don't know that this one decides it, but it could set the tone for what this game is going to look like.
We see Knabbmaster moving cards. Interesting. All right.
Yeah.
So we see.
So we got Gloves of Skill and Fire Shaper Ring. All right. So those are two attacking, pieces of equipment, I would say, and they're aggressive. Maybe is a better way to put it. Those are relatively aggressive. Knabbmaster does pay for the extra Vine, which I don't think I've seen too many druids not do that.
The Mana Lotus. All right. Knabbmaster really flexing here, saying I've still got economy in my cards to play. While we see out of Enti, re-rolling attack spells, buffing attack spells. This is Knabbmaster needs to think now. Can I survive this? And because if his economy does play off and the dissipate 3 turns. He could see an insane, shift in how much mana he has on the board.
I agree.
First quick cast phase, it is Enti's turn. He's not going to quick cast.
Interesting.
Looks like Knabbmaster will quick cast. Enchanting Philella. I'm not going to.
All right.
My bad.
Oh my god.
Everyone saw it.
It's a good thing. It's something to help keep Philella going and keep the protection on the economy, basically.
And looks like
the action economy.
Knabbmaster is going to move forward saying, okay, I want to get in your face more. You have to run up now. But there is a Druid Vine in place, so we can't see a run out of Enti here.
Yep.
And it looks
no wonder if also that move is partially to block access.
Yeah.
No, maybe not. There it is.
And look, another enchantment onto Enti. Yeah. You have to think, are either of these nullifies? How do you deal with this?
Yeah, I think if I'm Enti, I'd just say screw it. go for it.
This could be a test.
Exactly. I'd test it, make them use it, make them have it.
Looks like it's going to stick here.
So far, it's going to stick.
And I bet you this is another curse. Yep. Second curse. So that first one's probably not important, but when you're playing and you're like, oh, I got the second one on, if you want to seek and dispel something, that's second spell.
The first one is probably the one you have the most copies of, whereas it's probably important to have, but like you probably just have a lot of copies of it. And I think right now would be a good time to reveal it because, nice.
Then
He's ready for that move. Yeah.
Philella enchanting the Dramlic here.
I bet that's Rust. But if I'm a Dramlic Warlock right now, I want to reveal one of them before the next turn because you get the discount, and then you get the discount next turn as well.
Just agreed there.
Think about for those who are running the Dramlic Warlock. You want to time your reveals so that you get maximum amount of whatever I'm trying to say, maximum amount of discounts.
So I bet you we will see Enti reveal something here. It is the final quick cast.
Mm-hmm.
Knabbmaster is done.
See what happens.
Enti might be thinking about mana right now.
Yep, some of it about mana, but maybe about which one to reveal too, because maybe they're just not that useful.
He's not going to reveal.
Interesting.
Okay.
All right. Missing out on one more mana, which isn't huge, but you do it enough times that it could get tough. Enti's also now out of range of one of the Battle Forges, yeah.
Yes, he's out of range of his Battle Forge here. It means he's only going to get access to one of these. And we don't know what Knabbmaster has on him right now. Both sides. He's got 4 enchantments. He's just swirling in magic.
So much magic there. I think it'd be awesome if Enti preempted that with what's the anti-curse one? Arcane Corruption.
Oh yeah, right. That'd be awesome. It looks like Manalo's is going down to Dissipate 2.
Yep.
That tree. So that is why he paid that extra mana. He really just wanted to spread it so he could slow him down, which does make sense. Too. Like I tend to sometimes just, if it doesn't really matter, not pay that mana. Because sometimes one mana can matter, but like certainly getting these 2 center zones full of vines. You really want
with 18 mana now, you can afford a mask and 2 fireballs, and you're throwing 7-9 dice per fireball. It's an option to consider. So you'll probably get smacked around for it, but I mean, it might be worth a turn of getting smacked around for that.
I mean, honestly, with Gloves of Skill, you could probably consider Fireball, like Flame Blast or Fire Stream.
Even without the mask,
Yeah, and just maybe save a little mana. You're probably going to get the burns.
That's true. Anyway. You can get is it Fire Stream, the 4 mana one?
Yeah, Fire Stream's the cheap one,
Yeah. Like, Fireball into Fire Stream isn't bad either, but sometimes the range will help you out.
Yeah.
It depends on how you want to go about it. Like, there's a lot of options here.
Yeah, because, I mean, range +1, if you have Hawkeye, that's another one. Then if you have the mask, it's piercing 1. But, it's one of those, like, do you really want to risk it? Like, 2 fireballs seems like the better option.
I think fireballs would be the better option. There's no kill like overkill, and especially against the tree, you really want to just burn that down as soon as fast as possible. You do not want to let them do the whole damage transfer thing at all.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, you're completely wasting mana if you're allowing a free thing like that. Now, a big question here, does Nab pay for the extra vine? Go down to this Enchanter's Wardstone. Just make a little cheeky plant down here that just wants to munch on rocks all day, Do you consider that here? I don't know. Like, Raptor Vine isn't a bad call.
It's an option. Raptor Vine's not bad, and what's the Snapper with the piercing?
Snapper. Yeah, you can't move, you can teleport it, so it's not necessarily that bad.
Yeah. I mean, it might just be, a creature that goes and eats the rock, but whatever.
No. I mean, the smoke ones are pretty cheap for that. Except Majority joined. And,
looks like Nabs is be right back, so you want to fast forward to...
Let's go ahead and
start moving it again? Around. Yeah. I think it'll be interesting to see where this one goes. Because there's a lot of paths you can take here, and sometimes whoever, I don't want to say gets lucky, but whoever chooses the right path here can make it so that their plays have more impact in the long game.
Thornlasher
come down. All right. So now, the Druid is starting to expand into the middle of the board and start to take it out. There's the mask, which very well could mean that we're seeing an attack on the tree right now.
Eye of Veil going onto the Druid. Love this play.
That happened.
Oh, it's such a jerk card.
Oh man, it's terrible. I hate it.
But I mean, it basically is an anti-regenerate kind of idea. You know what I mean?
That's true.
Like, it really does.
It does make it
some effect.
Yeah. It makes it more. It's more. What's it? What I'm trying to say? It's more of a tax on anything the druid decides to do. Either choice.
Love the amulet play here. Love seeing that. You do see a card go onto the warlock here. Now, what's interesting about Thornlasher, the 2 center spots I find to be the best, just because you got a little plus sign of coverage.
Oh yeah,
because
so much coverage.
You snatch them in, and you can sort of keep them in one area, and like they have to waste movements getting out, and they're hindered, so you can keep
and they can work together if you put 2 of them down in the middle and just cover everything. Yeah,
it's just such a good
no
play.
Attack. It's not an attack on the tree.
Enti moving down. He's probably a little bit worried about getting cut up by this crazy wall of thorns, just absolutely shredding mage play. No reveal. He does move down 1. He was asking us if there's a reveal.
I'm willing to bet that's a rust on there.
Yeah, I mean, it would make sense for wall of thorns play.
We are seeing an attack come down, which is interesting given that.
Yeah.
That's an attack. It's right from the mage.
Looks
so we
like
got
Rust gets revealed.
Up.
There is 1 armor, and then we see also the Hawkeye. Will we see a counter reveal?
I'm guessing we're going to see 2 different. Firestream and something else. Maybe Firestream twice. There's Firestream.
Hawkeye,
the
Fire
cheap
Shaper
one.
Ring, Demon Hide Mask. The Firestream does get played. It's
so
plus...
even if Jinx.
Jinx gets revealed.
All right. And, that's a pretty good save there. Yeah,
not a great roll. So I bet you Enti's like, okay.
And it goes back to Enti's book, and that's not terrible.
I mean, that's the Philella play right there.
Yeah. So the Jinx is interesting because it does use Philella to undo a spell that your opponent will use, and so you're getting a huge action economy there too, or huge action advantage. Excuse me.
Jinx is always one of those plays that you see it and you're like, oh, that was a brilliant play to do this right then.
The timing of Jinx can go from like, oh god, this did nothing to, well, that was really good.
Yeah, and like, that Jinx kind of ensures the tree in a lot of ways. And that's why I really like that play.
A decade ago when we were at Gen Con and the Jinx play from was it Hugin? Yeah, just the wizard where you kept jinxing everything, like
that was
the Wizard's Tower taking over.
Yeah, that was when Wizard Tower really dominated.
Hey, I was right about there being a double Firestream. Really crappy roll, but gets to re-roll into a really good roll.
Makes
actually.
that gloves a skill along that re-roll.
Yeah, I believe that gets a burn as well.
8 damage and it's 4. Yeah, I believe that is. No, it's not.
Nope. It should be 5+. My bad.
Yep.
I have obviously read the card very recently.
Well, here it is now.
Awesome 8 damage is a good start. I don't know how much it's going to matter with the tree being there doing its thing, but it's an interesting one.
Yeah, that's the big question: is how are you going to make that stick, Enti? Because
you're looking at 8 damage plus 1 more from the amulet, and that's 9. 2 of it will go away.
There might be regen.
Because the tree can regen for you.
And I will say,
the tree's going to regen for you no matter what.
I will say that this Thornlasher wouldn't have died doing that on him. So it looks like Enti might be just.
The Thornlashers are such a pain.
Yeah, he might just be committing full on, just like I'm going to kill you right here. Like otherwise, you're right. Like this could be a waste of an action. Otherwise.
I don't know if it's a complete waste. You just have to be able to follow it up, right?
Yeah.
It's not just. It's just hard to make damage stick on the druid before the tree's dead, and so I think it is really, really. You're fighting an uphill battle to attack the druid before the tree. That doesn't mean it's impossible, and doesn't mean it can't be done. It's just you got to be somewhat lucky, and you got to be just ready to go. You have to have done the prep work, and I think Rust is definitely going to help. I don't know if he's playing a Deathlock next turn, but it doesn't leave him a lot of mana.
True that too. Yeah. Oh, Knabbmaster reveals a Bear Strength.
With the Bear Strength Druid, all right.
This is. Oh, the Wolf Fury gets revealed. Melee plus 3, piercing 1, and we're gonna see him just punch. Is this a punching druid? Hell yes, I love punching. 6 dice going in.
6 damage.
There is 1 armor here.
Nope, piercing.
Oh, he's got piercing 1.
Fury.
Yes, right. You're right. 6 damage going through a Dramalik Warlock. Not able to heal as well as a druid. And we're going to see the leather helmet get
Quick cast leather helmet. I mean, the rust and the mask will help keep that in line. But we're looking at an aggressive druid right now, and that's probably one of the things you may not want to see. I don't know that the warlock can burn through that fast enough without 4 fireballs in the book. And maybe Enti runs 4 fireballs, but you need to throw those big spells
right
a lot and fast right now, or you need to find a way to derail this board control that the druid has set up. I don't want to call it passively because they're so nice. Yeah. Okay, so the Gulroth's interesting too.
So that's gonna counter the transfer to the Vine Tree. Like Ghoul-Rat
A little
basically
bit,
saying
yeah.
it's a direct fight right now.
Yeah, I mean, so Enti's done his prep work. Like it's doable.
I mean, this is still a match. Yeah,
This
absolutely.
is still a match. I think the longer
Yeah.
this goes, the more it favors the Druid because they can effectively passively start taking control of the board. Like doesn't even need to use the Thorn Lasher to start attacking the Battle Forges. Doesn't even need to start using his mage's actions to do half the stuff he wants to do.
You're right. You're right about that. Yeah.
So
and the question is, can if Nab needs it, can he run away? And like with vines and stuff like that and teleports.
you just put up a wall in the right spot, and suddenly the fire streams can't hit you.
True. Yeah. Exactly.
And you can keep them from running because that's what that's what the vines do. They just slow you down.
So something interesting I want to point out here is that he used the School-Rat first to try and test for Nullify. Interesting to me to use that
is kind of
a
ballsy,
level
isn't
2
it?
spell. And like I guess maybe he thinks he just get more value out of Rust. I mean, I guess it is
that's true.
It is a water spell, so technically they're both level 2, in some weird way. But it's one of those things.
You're right. I just wonder how many Ghoul Ruts you have versus how many Rusts you have.
Sure.
I don't. The way I like to run it, I have more Rusts.
Yeah,
but
I don't use a lot.
That doesn't necessarily mean that mine's the only way to run it. But I tend to have more Rusts, and so I would lead. I probably would honestly lead with Magebane Rust myself, but that's because I think Magebane's really good.
So Knabbmaster's setting his damage down -1. It let's see, because he did the Ghoul Rot, so that counters the tree.
I don't know what the minus one's from.
The other one, because he got the Eye of Bale, which should be +1, right? Oh no, here it is. Druid takes 2 damage. Boom. So he did the Eye of Bale thing as being a 1-to-1, and then it looks like the 2 here. So cool.
Yeah.
Making sure it's all good. And so, here we go. So we basically have Philella here. Being able to cast those enchantments, like we could see a regen, Barkskin going down on the Druid. I mean, we could see something against Enti. I'm not really sure what right now.
The thing the Druid has going for him, like I said, is that there's so much of an economy here that the Dremelic Warlock at this point is probably locked into fighting the Druid directly right now.
Yes.
So every action you spend undoing what the Druid's doing is an action you're not hitting the Druid.
I mean, to be totally honest, I would be freaking out as Andromelic right now because you're basically like, I need to go hard or I lose. Because like Druids has a special ability where they can just own a zone. Like they bring in
what's going on right now.
They bring in the Vine Tree. You get a Snapper here, and then suddenly you're like, next round, you're like, oh shit. Oh shoot! There's a Snapper just ready to go.
I mean, playing an Arcane Corruption and a Fire Stream or Flame Blast would be a good way to stack more damage onto the Druid.
True that.
I don't know that it would be enough.
Yeah.
But it's at least something. It's hard to tell because the Ghoul Rot is doing a good job of but countering the tree gen. But is it going to be enough fast enough? This is a real question.
With Ghoul Rot. Yeah, it's
yeah. Like it's a good job of setting up a lot of damage, both passive and active in this point.
I mean, Enti's looking at 12 mana.
It feels it feels a little fragile to me.
So like 12 mana with you have both Battle Forges, ready to go. I don't know if he's going to cast out of both of these, honestly.
I don't know that you can afford that. I mean, unless you have 2 more really small things and 2 more Fire Streams ready to go.
Yeah,
I think it's probably a Curse and a Fire Stream if I had to guess, because the Curse will be relatively cheap. It's a cheap action, and then a Fire Stream is so if you Curse and Fire Stream, you're looking at 6 mana, which leaves you 6 to do 2 Battle Forges and or a reveal, right?
Yeah.
So it's not a ton to work with, but it is something. But at some point, this is your steady state, right? This is where you're going to be the rest of the time if you keep using all your mana.
I kind of love this state right now. This is like what Mage Wars is all about. Is like, how are you gonna finish this? That sort of.
How is your strategy gonna change? Not even change, but how are you gonna be able to impose your will upon the enemy mage?
And Philella coming in with another Jinx would actually be pretty insane as well.
That would be devastating, in my opinion. I think if Philella does that every other turn, then it's gonna be problematic for the Dremelic Warlock because those actions are gonna add up.
Yeah, and like honestly, it is Enti's initiative. So that means he has to use both actions.
You have to remember, does Jinx have to be revealed if they cast a full cast spell?
No, not full cast. It only reveals on quick
cast.
Only
okay.
on quick,
Yeah. So like, there's no way to really counter Jinx either. Then in that case,
Yeah, you have to
deal with it.
nullify. You know,
Yeah.
like
You just have to preemptively nullify. You have to just deal with it,
yeah, no, exactly. Yeah, yours right
which
here.
is
Let's see it.
brutal. Yeah.
It's one of those
Yeah.
spells that like I could get why you could win a tournament on it if you just take 6, because it's like, oh, I was a solo mage and I couldn't do anything half the time. You know what I
Exactly.
mean?
And
Like,
I think this is a particularly good matchup for that to show up.
agreed,
You know.
agreed there.
So
I'm gonna go ahead and skip
it's
ahead a little bit.
yep. Moving right along.
All right, we're gonna see the leather belt coming out.
Leather
And the
belt
tempered
and temper
folds as
fold. All
well.
right.
Very good.
Stacking a bit of armor. All
So,
right.
I mean, he's really trying to take out this Thornlasher from being like not useful and being able to
Basically, make it
reroll.
irrelevant without having to kill it.
Yeah, having to reroll the effect die. You know, having what is he at now? 3 armor. I mean that.
Yeah.
You know,
Well,
essentially.
what I think is a rust gets revealed. Yeah.
Fair point. Fair point.
We'll see. And he's on 8 mana for his 2 actions, so 2 more fire streams are possible.
Yeah, I mean, he could actually double attack spell. We do see a junk
we
like
see another
immediately.
Another one coming out. It's a good time to do it.
I mean, it's all or nothing, right? He's gotta finish his race.
I think this
Mage Bane.
Interesting. That's not what I expected. Yeah. Okay. I thought it was gonna be a rust for sure.
Oh, the reroll.
Reroll gets 7. That's pretty good. 7 and a burn.
He rolls a 7. Yep.
Yeah, 7 and a burn, and can heal himself if he hits him again, because it's got a burn and he's a demon when he attacks now.
Oh yeah, you're right. That's right.
So
you get a little bit
if
of
there's
healing
a way
in there.
to do it, yeah.
From demonic reward. Because the mask makes you a demon, so then you attack with an attack spell. Boom.
Mm-hmm. If he does it again, he can. Yep. There's another attack coming. Oh, maybe.
He's gonna get out of the way. He doesn't want to get hit by the Thornlasher.
Totally understand that one. Fire stream coming in. Yep. Okay. There. Look, I like it. I like the play. I hope it works.
Oh, that's look at that roll! Insane!
Dang.
27 damage on the druid now.
Woo,
what?
As we spoke about earlier, the druid will have the long term advantage, but this is a lot of pressure.
This is how you win.
Yeah, this is a good way to do it. I hope it continues because I love it, but also
this is awesome. I'm really enjoying this.
I haven't seen enough druids come back from 33 damage on them, and I'm like scarred for life. Right? It's
right.
Brutal.
And,
I don't think he remembered actually to heal himself with the mask because I still see 8 damage on him.
Yeah, he did not heal.
That's all right.
It may heal once, like so if he forgot, he forgot. That's just it.
Yeah. And Gulrod is going to help, and the amulet's going to help, but we got the Hand of Exalt coming down, and you need to poison blood that right away.
Yeah, right. Oh,
that needs to get on there now. Oh, he's targeting Aya Bale. It's going away.
You see the dissolve?
Yep. So that's going to be some extra damage. The burn may help keep it there, though, so there's potential. Okay. But this is something the druid can just do, you know?
So that's a 2 health swing. Every round
swing right now.
You know,
the other part of it is like, druid has initiative next turn. Can just heal.
And another enchantment goes on to the druid here. This could be
regenerate. Yeah.
That would be a 4 health swing around with Hand of Him, Eye of Bale, and then a regen 2. That would be a huge swing for
on top of tree gen. Yeah, and the 5 mana that. Yeah. The 5 mana that he's about to get from the Mana Lotus, this is where it goes wrong for the Warlock. I'm not saying it can't happen. I'm just saying like this is where it goes wrong.
No, this is the time that like he needs to win.
Which
he's at 26 damage. Darkskin gets revealed.
Okay, yeah, that's gonna be the regen.
It's gonna be 2 armor, regen 2. He's gonna have to pay. He's gonna have to pay upkeep for
that. And the burn didn't work.
Burn gets removed. Unfortunate there.
Oh. Yeah.
And, I mean, this is some of the classic stuff, right, that you see out of Nab. You see Mage Bane a lot, really favoring the, I'm going to probably deal at least 1 damage to you around from this
Mage Bane is so worth it every time.
Yeah, and honestly, it's
crazy good card.
It's insanely good. You know, they have to waste mana trying to dissipate it. They take damage
even
from it.
If all it did, even if they were ready for it immediately, even if all it did was cost 1 damage and 1 dispel, it's worth it.
And that lets you know your board state is good when you want that down. Because it just lets you be like, all right, but I'm gonna keep healing because I'm the druid right now. So you either go even with it.
You either right.
You either go even and mana wise and action wise because of Mage Bane, or and I heal more, or you're just gonna slowly die.
Yeah. Man, I like seeing the druid take a lot of damage, but also like the druid can, of all of the mages, also just not care.
So let's see. He's at 2 armor, -2 with the rust. So he's got 2 armor with the leather helmet with piercing 1. So he's got effectively 1 armor right now against the Adrenaline Warlock.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's man, the amount of times I've seen a druid come back from that much damage, it's not my favorite thing to say. I hate playing against druids.
I mean, like,
yeah, you can probably burn their plants, but their plants don't give a shit.
Yeah, right. They're like, oh, I'm so cheap mana wise. 7 mana for 11
I know.
life is insane to try to burn through. You know,
especially with regen too. So you either kill it in one turn or you
same problem.
Yeah.
I mean, with 10 life, like it is possible, like a fireball or definitely 2. But like a fireball,
then you're using a fireball on a creature that you don't care about. Like it's the value trades the druid can do are just unmatched. Honestly, I think it's unmatched.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean they can't. Like I said, none of this means they can't be beaten. It's just it's not as good of a matchup for the fire mages you might expect from plants being weak to fire.
Honestly, like I usually flame whip lash when I.
The lash is a good one. The other option is an elemental wand. And you just fire stream because the fire stream wand isn't hugely threatening. It's not that, or it is, but it's also not the worst thing to lose. So
yeah, that's true too. I honestly I usually do the flame whip lash with the animate dead trick. So you just try.
Oh, there you go.
You try and get a little board presence of your own with their creatures, but
yeah,
it's like it's not foolproof. Let me say that. It's just what I do. It's Adrenaline Warlock.
Yeah, there's options that exist. It's just if you're doing those options again, you're not attacking the mage, so you're kind of either against the druid. You have to either fight the forest, like cut the grass, or kill the mage, and it's really tough to go full burn on the mage because of what we're seeing here is how much both passive and active healing you can get from this mage. It's insane.
Yeah, I mean, like that's it. Is like going to round 15 against druid is always scary because especially when they get bear strength wolf fury, they're like, oh, I'll just come beat you up, but if I get dangerous, I'll run away.
I don't think if you get past round 10, you can really win. I'm not. There's exceptions to the rule, but like if you're up that high, it's already a losing game, and you need a Hail Mary to come back.
So basically what I'm saying is I like Knabbmaster's play. That being said, he could just get fireball and just die right now. You know what I mean?
I agree with you. It could totally happen. Roll 10 crits. You don't even need 10 crits, but like as an exaggeration, you could roll. What's Enti gonna roll? 8 to 9 dice.
8 to 9. 1, 2.
Yeah.
1,
9 dice
2.
plus 3.
Yeah, and he's got a reroll as well.
So like it can totally happen. He could totally get ace right now, but like it needs to happen right now, and then Enti's all out of mana if he does that.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's why we're seeing Enti take his time on this last card because he's probably like, if I fireball, I have 10 mana. It's 8 mana to do that. What am I gonna do with 2 mana left?
Poison blood.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing, right? Is like
it won't go up until the next turn, so you're still gonna miss out on some healing.
Yeah, if he fireballs right now, he can't really reveal that poison blood until
until next turn.
Until the regen.
And even next turn with 8 mana, like it's starting to look pretty bad.
Yeah,
I mean that from if you don't kill him now.
And you can still transfer even with poison blood, so it's not the end of the world.
Not the end of the world for the druid, assuming the druid survives. Which isn't a given. Druid also gets to go first, and since Poison Blood wasn't preceded, could just heal right now. Like, literally the spell heal.
Yeah, quick cast heal. You're right.
Yeah, it would be devastating. Hey, speak of the devil.
Minor heal going on. Heals
5 damage.
Looks like 5 damage off of that 5-die roll. Very nice. We see the vines slowly creeping around here.
Yeah, I don't think that I would do a fireball into that at this point. I think
he's gonna chant.
Okay,
he's going for the let's try and do the best we can. Knabbmaster 19 out of 34 now. Nothing
Poison Blood and Flame Blast is what I'm guessing. But yeah.
Nothing getting revealed out of these Battle Forges. It's sort of Knabbmaster's game. To decide how this next round goes.
Yeah.
He's going to have a bib
tougher, and it's going to be really tough to...
The reveal of Poison Blood. Now, you actually don't stop.
Yeah, that doesn't stop it, actually.
It doesn't stop the hand up in, but it is a good time to reveal, because why not, right?
It's a good time to reveal it.
And the reason why is because the minute you announce it, you use the ready to keep track of it, but it instantly heals, in case anyone's wondering.
There's no steps.
Now they're gonna choose armor instead of healing, but I think he might have done that to like scare him. But whatever. Just so you know, you
Yeah,
can
maybe.
actually
Yeah.
just heal. You know.
You can just heal now. But even then, now he's at a 15 life buffer.
There's the
15 life
dispel.
buffer. Excuse me. And there, see, he's ready. Oh man, see.
This is the game right here, right now.
Yeah.
Is the can I make it stick? Finite life.
At this point, as the Adrenaline Warlock, I don't know the best way to come back.
Yeah, I mean fireballs, I guess, but
No,
it's
because fireballs are
hard.
just putting you
Yeah.
back. They're putting you behind. Like all of the action stuff, you're so far behind on action economy. You have to kind of reset
Yeah.
and start fighting for control of the board again. And you have to use your battle forges that you have here already because you need that advantage. So I think Elemental Wand is a huge play out of that.
The enchantment out of
You need to,
Flella going down.
yeah, just basically stack yourself back up, take some time, reset, count all the damages, wasted damage at this point, and be ready for round two. Because
Yeah.
I don't think that continuing on with the game plan is going to work, and I don't think that trying to do sort of mitigating and attacking is a good plan. You have to kind of just do a full reset here.
That's hard to do. Like,
And it is.
damn.
Yeah.
Cause,
At
like,
that point, you're
look at
playing with
this
half a
board
spellbook,
state.
right? Yeah.
This board state's insane right now.
You've already lost a bunch of your spells because you cast them, right?
I mean,
You don't really have the cheap ones anymore. You would have to play. You would have to play carefully with your remaining spells, and I think elemental ones are where you really drag, like where you can do it. But it's
is it a
not
nullify?
easy.
Is it a nullify? He gets the teleport.
Where is he teleporting to?
He's probably going here, is my guess.
I would go to the middle, so there's less easy to block. But
it's gonna be his initiative next round. So
yeah, but the tree gets to put something out.
yeah, fair. Yeah, no, you're right.
Oh man, like the tree can. I mean, I don't think tree
the wall
can deploy wall of thorns, right? The tree can't deploy that
no,
one.
it can't do thorns, but it can do the other one.
Yeah, yeah. The other one doesn't really matter that much. It's wall of thorns.
True.
Wall of thorns. I was worried about. Excuse me, man. I'm not speaking very well.
We're gonna see a little tickle attempt with no damage again. Yeah, this is.
It's worth trying to get some crits. Yeah, go crit fishing with that guy because he's just there as a threat. Worst case scenario.
I'm guessing Enti wanted to move up because he just wants to try and not take any more damage. That Mage Bane already dealing 3 damage to him, and it doesn't sound like a lot, but like he only paid 5 mana for the spell, so
yeah, it's already paid for itself easy.
Yeah, and like if you try to spell, you're taking 4 and another action, but Enti's already mana starved.
So we've seen a dispel and a dissolve out of Knabbmaster, correct?
Yes, we have.
Okay. So we've probably got at least 2 more of each of those.
Yeah, 3 to 4 dispel, maybe a disperse in there. That's pretty normal. In these kind of in a book.
And it's gonna cost him extra, but the druid doesn't care right now.
Well, I mean,
druid doesn't have to care.
He just has to live. Honestly, that Mage Bane is doing work, and as long as he's just healing and stuff, whatever,
To be fair, he's down to 9 mana, so it's gonna limit this turn a bit. But if that 9 mana goes to a minor heal, it's out of reach.
Yeah, you're right.
I don't know what else to do, right?
Yeah, and I mean, you can't see double fireball, so you might see Firestream fireball, something like that, right?
He's got to be coming close to running out of fire streams too. He can only have 2 more maximum. And so, yeah. 3. I was thinking 4, but yeah. Yeah. It's tough to burn the druid down before the druid stabilizes. You have to find another way. You have to get creative in how to fight them.
And look at this guy; he's got 3 mana on it.
Yeah.
So he's holding it.
He hasn't needed it
for the right time.
The longer this game goes, the more the druid grows and the more board presence that they build up.
And now it's just sort of like this Hand of Bim's going to be a problem, and the tree is already a problem. This is interesting. I'm going to go ahead and just fast forward here. Knabbmaster's taking his time.
Go right through the planning phase.
I mean, it's basically just like Enti's just like attack. That's kind of where I'm at with this.
The options are limited. You kind of that's the problem with going attack first is you kind of limit yourself in the later game to continuing the attack because if you let the pressure up, you lose. But a lot of times the druid's ready for that, so if you keep the pressure on, you lose.
Yeah.
And so it's not an easy. It's an uphill fight in my opinion.
We see the Vine get placed under Enti here. He is hindered now. And will Enti deploy out of this Battle Forge? He's got 13 mana, 2 on the Forge, so it's an interesting choice. Like, I don't even know, maybe a Mage Wand maybe, but or not a mage wand, an elemental wand. But even then,
Elemental
like,
one could help. It might save you a little bit, but he's gonna get dissolved in the quick cast phase next
yeah,
turn.
you're right.
So
Yeah,
I don't know that that's not worth it. Like it might be worth it if you have 2 or 3, but I don't know what else you do.
that's kind of where I'm at. He does play. It's gonna be Cloak of
Cloak of
Shadows here.
Shadows.
Okay.
Interesting, making Philella get close.
Yeah, that would be my
I think
guess.
if you were gonna attack Philella, you should have done that earlier. But
We see the Fire Stream does get revealed.
got another one. All right.
7 dice going down. Rolling 8 damage and a burn.
Rolling good damage. The burns haven't been doing much, but he's rolling good damage.
1 armor, so 7 damage going through.
Yeah.
That puts Knabbmaster up at 24 out of 34. Still in a killing range.
Still vulnerable. I don't know that it's vulnerable enough.
And now it's going to be Knabbmaster's turn to.
Like Enti's playing this very well. Like there's a lot of pressure on. It's just I don't know that there's a lot you can do if it doesn't work the first time. You know.
I'm liking what Enti's doing. I think he's making good choices here. I'm not sure about the Cloak of Shadows, but other than that, I'm like
probably not the way I would have gone either. But I don't know that it's necessarily a bad play either.
He's trying to make it happen. Maybe he's trying to prevent Jinx with Cloak.
I'm willing to bet it's make Philella get closer.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we're in the action
flame
phase
blast
now.
Philella too. Yeah.
There is no Knabbmaster quick cast, meaning he's at 10 life to death, 1 burn. Oh, and do you go with your mage? Because then he can just kind of run away as Knabbmaster, you know?
That's what I mean. Like, he's got so much board advantage right now that Enti just can't undo anything. He can't, like, gain enough advantage back
it's
to
stressful. This is
counter that. Yeah.
yeah.
And next turn, I mean, he could chase him into the corner, and I don't know. It's tough. It's very tough.
I know, like...
Yeah.
All right,
I would probably move into the same zone.
He isn't going to pass.
If you're going to keep attacking.
I like that he's not passing. I actually think it's
Although,
wrong move.
Well, I mean, because of this, I would move into the same zone. Ooh, I don't know if I'd move away. But moving into the same zone as the Druid would make it so that running away wouldn't do much good.
He's going to enchant.
Enfeeble, maybe? It's an option.
Is he going to reveal it now?
And he's got enough to reveal it.
It's poison blood. Okay, that is going to stop the hand of Ben.
He's got to dispel. There's no way he doesn't have Dispel for this.
And now it's all Nab this round.
Yeah.
It is going to go ahead and
all Nab.
do a little vine ensnare.
Yeah.
Picking up the Battleforge hammer.
There's 3 crits, making up for a little bit of it. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, eventually you're going to get it, right?
Yeah, eventually it's going to come back around. Makes up for the other ones.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I believe we had a ghost join us for the middle of the game.
Oh.
Maybe. Is he there?
No ghost.
Oh, there he is.
Puddnhead?
No ghost.
How you doing? All right. It looks like we are going to see Poison Blood get targeted by Knabbmaster, choosing to run down. Then
run away, cast a spell. That's all he has to do the rest of the game. Just do that until they run out of Poison Blood. You just
This is classic.
I hate to see it. I know. I hate it.
I mean, this is just stuff you have to deal with. You know, like you mentioned Deathlock, and it does make sense to run things like Deathlock.
I would run Deathlock, but I would have cast Deathlock earlier. But if I had done that, then the Druid's still at 15 damage instead of 23. Man, it's not an easy choice either.
So we see the Poison Blood get destroyed, dispelled, and then immediately that hand of Bim is going to set Knabbmaster at 23 life remaining. Flow's going to start moving in.
Oh, gonna go punch the Battleforge. All right.
Ethereal touch it.
Going for the.
Ooh, it gets a crit.
Gets a crit. Nice. I mean, it's still it's eating the attacks at least. So.
Right. Now it's gonna be end of the round. So just talking about end of the round here, we are gonna see the Barkskin regen 2. We're gonna see 2 damage get transferred to that vine tree and immediately heal it. Putting that.
Yeah, the Ghoul Rot does keep it even there, right? That's still on. Yeah. So. And the burn might do something.
So, I mean, it's going to put him at 21 out of 30.
Burn was removed again? What is this?
Oh, that's another... I don't think those burns have ever worked.
They haven't worked at all this game.
Unfortunate.
Yeah, and then the Ghoul Rot keeps it... It should keep it even. Oh, no. Yeah. No, Ghoul Rot doesn't keep it even. Ghoul Rot keeps it even from the tree gen, but the Barkskin that Nab can continue to pay for does work as well.
Minus 2 or minus 4 plus 2, basically.
Yeah.
And now this is interesting, right? Because Cloak of
I mean,
Shadows
the
keeps the
Warlock's running out of
Adromalic
gas. Yeah.
in the corner. That Battleforge can't even target the Adromalic now.
Oh, dang. I didn't even think of that. Yeah.
And, sort of like
I think the cloak is a problem here more than it's helping.
it seems like it.
Yeah. I think Enti would have been better off with armor.
I mean, Enti now at 11 mana here, kind of on the back foot back here. Maybe try to take out the Hand of Bim.
And again, this is all said with plenty of hindsight. So like, I think he would have been better off with armor. So
Yeah.
not that it's a bad deal in the
see
moment,
that.
but yeah.
I mean, like, honestly, like, at this point, just take out the Bim, like, waste actions, take out the tree,
Yep.
and just sort of be like, all right, you're at, like,
get the lash out. Get the lash out. Start smacking things. Use the tools you can theoretically have. I think if they're gonna dissolve the lash, then start getting out the wands.
Feels a little back-footish for Enti, but let's just see what happens. I'm gonna go ahead and skip here. Enti, of course, taking a little bit of time. Hasn't really prepped much.
I got plenty of time. Planning takes a little bit sometimes.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm not saying that they're bad for planning. You know?
How dare you plan?
What the heck? That tree has 4 mana.
The tree doesn't. So that's the thing right now is the druid can kind of just play their game and not have to spend that much, which is what's so frustrating about playing against the druid in the first place.
I can tell you have problems with druid.
Oh, I hate the druid.
There's
so
the minor
much.
heal going down.
That's what I'm saying. Like druid can just do this.
A little bit heals 4 out of 5 dice, but
not terrible. So 2 minor heals down. You still have to find a way to burn through all of that, but like the fact that the druid still has half damage on is a good sign.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't know how you get back in range now that you moved away. Like if you're gonna go for the attack mode, you needed to move into the same zone with the druid, which is why the cloak, doesn't help you much.
Yeah, that's what's brilliant about the druid right now is that you got all these vines in the way, so you can't even run over there. You just have to slowly like walk your way through vines.
Yeah, you got slog.
Again, Thornlasher randomly hitting the side.
Anti-passing is a good play. Make Philella do a thing, or make the druid do a thing. Before
he might have
committing to an action here.
Try and one-shot this guy,
I feel like there's an option of both Flame Blast or some kind of setup. Like, I think the interesting part is the Enchantress Wardstone. I think has done a lot of work in keeping the 2 curses on the druid right now.
Yeah, I agree with you too. Yeah,
just because of mana and actions.
Oh, the Healing Tree! Here we go. Okay. Now, Healing Tree, of course, is a Academy card, and that of course means that they didn't have the they went with 2 points of healing instead of just regenerate in that zone. So that allows you to heal an additional 2 on top of the transfer, on top of regenerate, on top of Hand of Bim. Like I'm saying that because
right now there's 6 points of passive healing that the druid can take advantage of each turn.
It's an insane amount.
Absolutely nutty. And this is what I mean, like, so this goes back to what I was saying earlier. You can choose to either fight the druid's board presence and try to eliminate the into their strength, or you can try to burn them down, because if you go the burn them down route and they get this much setup going, it is awfully hard to switch your game plan into the I'm killing everything else now.
Enti moving
I'm not
one
saying it can't be done, but it is tough.
Moving one enchanting is a mage here. Philo's gonna move in. We're going to see another Ethereal Touch.
Philella's got the martial arts skills here.
Yeah, right, dealing damage. I mean, all that damage adds up right now, honestly.
Oh, yeah, every bit. Like, because you're not undoing it unless you're attacking something that's burning.
There's the curse on Philella.
There's a curse. I don't know, we'll see if it's a nullify, yeah. Deathlink. Ooh. Okay, I take the healing comment back. That's a good play. I like that.
Deathlink is interesting. I don't know about casting on Philella, but I suppose if you want to kill Philella. It's
effectively a 6 health buffer, which, and he's going to regrowth. So, I mean, that's 4 passive healing here, too. I don't think you're going to out-passively heal the druid, but it does keep it interesting for a little longer.
Yeah, because I only say that because Deathlink on Thornlasher lets you have this, like, forever. Because it regens 2, you deal 2. But this is just a good way of being like,
good point.
Screw your thing.
I think eventually it does get rid of Philella, and if you don't need the Deathlink there forever, then you might be okay.
Yeah, I agree with that. you know, and of course, if this was the other Warlock, it would make more sense on Twila because you get it back and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
you know,
I don't know how many Deathlinks you run as the Adrenaline in this case.
I mean, it's unique, so it's just one of those like.
No, I know, but I mean, like,
Yeah,
having two in the book.
I guess I don't know if I've ever put two in a book, but yeah, I guess you could.
I have,
yeah.
but it's not my favorite thing to do,
totally
especially because the Adrenaline Warlock, when compared to like the Araxian Crown can get away with having like fewer copies of curses because
like
they get them back. Whereas the Adrenaline really wants to saturate their strategy, and my strategy ends up usually being like Marked for Death, Rust, and Poison Blood, right? So if you want to maximize those while minimizing anything else. Oh, and Magebane, right? But that doesn't mean that, like, again, you can totally build them other ways. Just the way I like to play her is that I think you have to saturate, and
yeah, I do the Mage.
I don't run too many Deathlinks.
I definitely do the Mage Wand approach when it comes to Dromelic, and I do more of the one of every curse kind of thing as Araxian because I don't know.
Yeah.
They play different. You know, they play so different.
The nuance is pretty interesting sometimes when you go to the differences between the two Warlocks.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like Animate Dead Mage Wand is insanely good for like a Dromelic Warlock, but you know on Araxian, like just Rise Again, like just get it as a quick cast.
I think oh, that's a good point too. But also I think in this case also the way that Mage Wand has been changed to the game to be epic, that is a kill on sight thing, and you can almost guarantee your Mage Wand will not last very long against the Druid.
Yeah, you're right.
Dissolve being in school, they're probably carrying a lot of copies of it.
I'm gonna go ahead and skip ahead here. We're definitely in this sort of like mid game. All right, we're all kind of healing up. When are we gonna engage again? Enti is saying he hates this game. How did I end up in this situation? I mean, yeah, that is the frustration. I think
that's how it feels playing Druid every time.
Yeah. Well, I don't really care what. I mean, just to add a little thing here, Enti is also playing a non-meta strategy that is particular to Enti. You know, he does the double fours, he stacks equipment, he stacks his enchantments, and then he one-shots stuff.
Yeah,
like he's gonna run in there and whack it with
12 dice. I think the lash is a good play, but
yeah, I mean that's fine. The problem is he can hit one thing a turn, and he's all by himself, and the Druid has a spawn point and a healing and everything the Druid has is much cheaper. So I just don't. He's gonna have to last 10 more rounds if he's gonna get a hit at the Druid at this point.
Yeah, I mean,
I think. Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
Well, I mean, he's rolling 7 dice, against these Thorn Lashers, but they have 11 life, so it's like you're not gonna really kill them very quickly. So, I mean, your best bet is kind of like, let me try and get through these guys, maybe.
My opinion is if you're going to go the attrition strategy like you're going right now, which is to cut the grass, you need to do that immediately. You can't pivot to it later on. You have to start that from the beginning, because if the Druid gets control of the board like they have now, they can sit back, heal a million, and laugh at you while you do it.
Yeah.
And then one of their actions is put another creature out that you just killed.
Right? Exactly. And if you want to run them out of Thorn Lashers, fine, but you have to be ready to fight that fight. That's a whole different mindset and setup than go in, attack everything as fast as you can. Right? You have to do a different setup, and unfortunately, the pivot is not easy in this particular match. Like, I don't think the Warlock can pivot outside of the Druid making mistakes. I don't think the Warlock can pivot from all-out attack to cut the grass. I think you have to start with cut the grass and then pivot to attack against the Druid.
Yeah, I agree with you.
We're seeing what happens right now. Enti's a phenomenal player. We're seeing what happens when you play all-out attack and then try to pivot, and it's just there's just not enough. You don't have enough time. You don't have enough life. You don't have enough actions. The Druid has built up such an economy of action and mana that it's jeez. Now he's gonna start meditating and come up and punch things later.
He's just sitting in the corner of a tree meditating. Like,
the Druid doesn't care.
Is this a troll play? Like, are we gonna see maybe a what is it?
I don't think it's a troll play at all. He's gonna come up and use. Yeah, he's gonna come up and use all this stuff. It's not a troll play, but like this is what the Druid can do. The Druid can back off and meditate in the corner, while you have to deal with everything on the board right now. You have to start cutting the grass early, or else the grass gets out of line. That's all there is to it.
That Magebane is really adding up. Already at 12 damage. And, this round does mark a change where Knabbmaster's now at 9, taking the less damage of the 2 mages.
Yep. 6 passive healing will do that.
And an extra 2 armor now. and 3 key as well.
Yeah, 6 passive healing is huge.
And here's the poison blood.
Knabbmaster revealed that. Ooh, so the healing doesn't happen on
there it is.
the Drumluck Warlock now, yeah. And I don't think you have the actions to sit there and undo all of that either. Like, yeah, it's a slow death at this point. Yeah,
really showing this Philella being amazing here, and of course that does stop Deathlink as well from healing 2 damage.
Yep, and it stops that entire strategy. It's unfortunate in my opinion. I like seeing the strategy work, but like it's really, really tough to pivot back into cut the grass mode from
So let's go ahead and just talk this board state really quick. I'm pretty sure Knabbmaster is going to keep healing up here.
Yep.
And we're probably going to see Enti's going to have to take some drastic moves because clearly getting rid of this poison blood's probably good. And do you retreat back? Do you keep just fighting this and dispelling, and then just say I'm already resetting? Let's just take this game into a long game because of that.
I actually think Enti should have gone up instead of attacking the Lasher. Should have gone and attacked the Hand of Bimshala.
I agree. Attacking the Bim because they probably don't have 2, right? And then going for this Vine Tree, I think would have been.
I mean, the tree would be nice. I think you have to cut the Lashers down first. Actually, at this point, so you go Hand of Bimshala first, Lashers second, but you have to attack the Lashers in combo. You can't just lash them. You have to hit them with something too.
I agree.
So you save mana with the Lash. There's lots of things called Lash. The Hellfire Lash helps kill because you can put 5 dice by default with Piercing 1 into the Hand of Bimshala. The next turn, then you have saved a little bit of mana, so you can also use an attack spell and probably 1 more cast from your Battleforge to give you an Elemental Wand, which saves you at least your gas, right?
Yes.
And at that point, you start marching across, eliminating as much of the forest as you can, and that's where your Cloak of Shadows comes in handy because the Druid has to move all the way across to you again to start stopping you from doing that. So it becomes a tough pivot, but that's how you would try to attack that most of the time. That also assumes you have enough spellbook points to do all of that and have your first strategy, which was the curses that attacks.
Yeah.
Like at some point, you're going to run out of the ability to do that because you just don't have those in your book.
Yeah, I mean, your analysis seems spot on. Like I think that's probably one of the best avenues to take. I'm going to go ahead and skip here because I think that I covered it.
Yeah.
I need 5 minutes. Andy's taking a break for a second.
I think he's just kidding.
All right.
Okay. So
I went a little fast. I went a little faster. My bad. So Flame Blast does get used against Philella, looks like, and it is going to roll the damage here. I don't think there's anything that's going to stop it. There is an enchantment here, but it's 3 crit, so it could. It's brace yourself.
Yeah,
it does stop it.
It does, but I wouldn't have rerolled. 3 damage and a burn would have been just fine. He's got 2 damage and 2 burns isn't bad though.
Yeah, but he should be. Yeah, it is that 2 burn, right? No. Yes, it is that 2 burn. Good.
It is 2 burns and 2 damage already on there, plus 2 more. The Hand of Bimshala being alive means that Philella probably survives.
It's a possibility.
Again, that's why I would have probably started with Hand of Bimshala there. Just knock it out because there's probably only 1.
I mean, with Deathlink, it'll probably work.
Deathlink won't matter with Poison Blood.
Yeah, he's got to deal with that. You're absolutely right.
So, yeah, there's a lot of things to deal with, and you have to pick. I think the reason it's such a hard pivot, on top of the resources issue, is that picking the exact right target to attack first is tough. You have to attack the foundation on which this is built, and the foundation is first the passive healing and second the action advantage. And Philella is part of the action advantage, and the Bimshala is also part of the healing. So you need to attack both of those, and I think it would have been better to start with Bimshala.
There's the rust getting revealed. Thornlasher going in for some damage.
Yep.
And
didn't get the pull though, or pull, whatever it is.
And Knabbmaster had 1 armor, Knabbmaster. Enti had 1 armor, deals 2 damage with that with 1 crit. He didn't even
much of his honest work.
And Enti's looks like just kind of. What will Enti do? Will Enti probably move up, is my guess, or down if he wants to go after the mage? Oh, he's gonna pass. He might get.
Yeah, he wants to see what happens. I think. I don't know. Man, there's not a good answer. No matter what you do.
Another enchantment from Philella. Maybe the last one we'll see in this game.
I do think attacking and taking care of Philella is the good play. Like that's another good idea.
I mean, we've seen this game. Philella just like totally tip scales so well.
Has absolutely,
you know?
all game has been adding to the advantage because it's tough to get rid of everything
how
now.
many of the enchantments out of Nab that we've seen not be.
Because I wonder if Enti runs Remove Curse, because I do splash out of school for that, I think, in some of the builds I've had.
Remove Curse is amazing.
And it would be good here.
Yeah, I mean, I take it like everything. Okay, Poison Blood is going to come out, Dispelling the Poison Blood.
Okay, so that guarantees Philella to die, assuming the burns don't take care of her first. Although I think you can choose the order of the upkeep there, right?
Initiative.
Okay, so then Enti will get to choose, because Enti will have initiative.
Yeah, it'll be Enti's, so he could do the Deathlink to kill.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
So the Deathlink
will guarantee it.
He could heal one. He might just give up on Philella, though.
I was saying, with the Poison Blood getting removed,
yeah,
assuming there isn't another one, because I don't think you can have stacked one, then yeah.
Knabbmaster could have prepared another one.
Absolutely could have. I'm just meaning right the second. I don't think I would Bimshaw Philella, because it looks like Philella's going to die. Regardless of what you do.
Deals 3 damage as Battleforge. It's starting to get to know how to take out a Battleforge after all the attack.
Lots of practice.
6 dice.
Mage is going to come in and help. And the Druid can afford to use these actions to do this at this point, because the Druid is no longer threatened.
It's at 5 damage. It's like it's not hurting at all.
The threat is just not there.
And it does
anymore.
move in Cloak of Shadows range. It is going to take care of this Tempered Folds.
Got to dissolve, yep, for the Tempered Folds.
That's 1 armor
one
and
less armor.
Yeah. That lets these Thorn Lashers, get that sweet shredding combo off when you get the Ball of Thorns.
Well, like we were saying earlier, Enti came out hot, and I think it was a really good try to kill the Druid. This is even more reinforcing of my opinion that I think you want to start by cutting the grass back.
Honestly,
you can't let him establish board presence, otherwise you're just going to lose the long game.
I mean, look at our YouTube channel at all the Druid games. And look at how successful it is to go in. It's so interesting watching those games because it's hard to what Enti is doing.
It's hard to attack into the Druid. Yeah,
he delayed it an extra turn or two as opposed to just going right for that tree. And it still kind of hit a wall where Knabbmaster's like, oh, I can just heal. You know what I mean?
Oh look, 1 million passive healing.
Mm-hmm. And we see the Unholy Reversal getting revealed by the Enti. That Regenerate 2 is going to, of course, nullify that Regen 2 and deal 3 damage on top of that.
Oof.
This is a crazy good spell, by the way. Unholy Reversal.
Yeah, it's really good. The thing about it, at least, though, is that it's good. He's going to run out of those. He can't carry that many of them.
It's interesting because, we talked at the beginning, Knabbmaster, definitely known for his Adramlik Warlock, and what are we seeing out of him?
Right?
There's tons of curses, even out of the Druid, he's like this dark Druid,
Yep. I'm a fan of that particular play. And Philella does go down. I think that Philella got so much value, though, that it's okay to lose her finally.
So we are at the halfway death mark for Enti here. Knabbmaster at 2 damage out of 34. This is swinging a lot. I'm going to go ahead and just fast forward this prep phase.
Enti would have to do a lot of work to undo the board presence control that the Druid has. Yeah. And again, it's not impossible, but it's just not easy, and you need to have basically built your book to do it. And that kind of means you have trouble into other matchups if you do that.
Dragon's Halberd gets played 0 mana.
That's something.
Because
he's had a lot of mana on that one.
Battleforge had 6 mana on it. And I will say that, Enti only has 10 mana. So, you're talking about a lot of things need to get done. It's really hard with this, that's for sure.
It is, but the Lash should help. It is an attack that sticks around. I say that before Knabbmaster decides to dissolve it, but he may not. May not even feel like he has to. But
Lasher down to 1 health.
Yeah.
Or 1 life, or 1 damage.
Right, so that's 7 the 7 dice you put. Ooh, got a Bear Strike going now. Okay, so there's 9 dice. Is that right?
9 dice, and get 16 damage on that. That is an angry Adramlik Warlock dealing 16 damage.
I'd rather hit the Druid with that.
Oh, and a Tanglevine on the Druid. Okay, so the Druid can't get to him. Okay, see? It's not impossible. It's just not easy.
Especially with the Cloak of Shadows. Now he can't get to that healing tree.
Well, except that they'll find snatched. Yeah, he's gonna get snatched. He's
pulled into range now.
he did get snatched. Immediately snatched. Gotta love it.
Yeah.
And there is no reroll because, of course, that
Yeah, the falls got taken out.
Got taken out.
Very methodical, I think is the right way to put it. It's very methodical play here by Knabbmaster.
Yeah, honestly, if anyone's looking for, how do you play Druid, this is a really good example. Like,
straight up textbook.
You see a lot of these cards in every Druid.
Yep. And fighting against the Druid, you kind of have to go, as the Adrammelech Warlock, you kind of have to change your normal mindset of destroy stuff. You have to be more ready to play the board control game. You have to make them run out of cards. In some cases, make them play the stuff that's not as optimal. Like, Thorn Lashers are very, very efficient creatures. Right?
Oh my goodness. The Dispel on the regrowth happens, so now Enti isn't going to regenerate 2 at 21 out of 33. Yeah. And probably the most interesting thing that I see is that Knabbmaster's like, I don't need this bark skin. So he just doesn't pay he doesn't need the upkeep anymore. Doesn't need the regen too.
Because it's cantrip.
So his cantrip goes back in his book, and he's like, whatever, I
don't care.
Just let it go. I don't need to be a tree anymore.
I'm a tree, I just don't need bark.
Yeah, right. I don't need bark. I'm a tree. I'm kind of a tree already.
What'd you call me?
A tree. And I mean, being trapped is one thing. I mean, so we have a Bear Strength Lash here. So it's dealing 6 dice with the piercing 1.
Yeah.
We might see this just become a melee match now. With
honestly, I think if Enti had led with this strategy, I think he would have had more success. And again, this is with all the hindsight, so again, Enti didn't know this ahead of time that it was going to go this way, but like, if we'd seen him lead with this kind of a strategy, I think he would have been more successful in the long run. Because the Druid can play such a good mid-plus kind of game that you're pretty sure you're going to get there anyway. So you might as well start destroying this stuff as it comes out.
Yeah, agreed there. I'm going to go ahead and just skip this really quick. I think we're all watching this game.
How often have you done that?
Curious.
How often what?
How often have you done the cut down the grass strategy and then you end up just killing 6 Tanglevines before you can cut anything real down?
The good news is you have to only kill 4. The other good news is that it's still the only way I beat Druid.
Yeah, unfortunately, like I gotta agree, it just takes time, to kill a Druid.
Yeah.
Like
you have to play the Druid's game with them and somehow find a way to beat them at it. I mean, your best way to do that is to take advantage of the fire that you have inherently to your book.
It's one of those things where like, if you see Druid in like a time tournament, it's one of those things where it's like, I don't know if he can make time. That sort of thing.
Time tournaments are really hard to both play with and against Druid.
Yeah.
Because it depends on the tiebreakers, obviously, but like, if you're a Druid, you could also be losing by the time you turn the corner. It's a classic control deck.
It depends what happens when you go to time, right?
Yeah, it's a classic control deck.
This Thorn Lasher goes here. Of course, they can play the sort of ping pong with whoever they're snatching here. The Bloodspine Wall being in between to get the extra damage and the bleeds on. Knabbmaster's just been trying to kind of set this up the whole game, I feel like. There's a teleport.
I don't think he's been trying necessarily, but it's been building to a point where the actions are free enough that the Druid has enough spare actions and cycles to do this.
Oh, and there's the melee 1 from the hand of Bim going down, showing how versatile that is. We got the Bear Strength with the Wolf Fury.
Good, just gonna come in and do the monk thing.
7 dice, yeah, right. We got the 4 crit going down. There is a Dragon Scale Hawbrick, so 5 damage. Because there's piercing 1 from Wolf Fury.
Yep.
Doesn't even have a weapon, just straight up punching.
Straight up monk Druid.
Yeah, right. Monk Druid. We are gonna see him go after the tree. Enti does move up, gets the fireball out. We do still have
a
7 damage plus the pierce.
Not terrible.
It's gonna be what is that? 9. The 2 burns. I mean, that is pretty good. He does have a quick cast. He could fire stream this to death. We do see the target on the tree. There is a fire stream. This could take it out. 8 dice, and it is going to take it out.
Yeah, that needed to happen a little bit earlier for him to have a chance. Unfortunately,
I mean, he needed the
he didn't know that, but
the
mask needed for that.
Yeah, he of course needed the gloves, and it was just
the only time that I've successfully beaten a Druid played by someone of this caliber is when you are able to hold the forest back from being such a high advantage that you can take a turn off to attack the tree like that.
Yeah. I mean,
it's tough. It is not an easy setup.
Enti being a 28 out of 33, it's great to get that tree, but you know that mage lane, it's been doing who knows how much damage now.
Oh geez, yeah, we're easily into 10, I think, at this point.
You know, are we gonna see a snatch here? We do see a snatch out of the Thorn Lasher, bringing him back in. We see Enti say side.
I mean, Knabbmaster just wants a hug. Just another hug.
Right?
Come back!
A bear hug with wolf claws.
Yeah.
And
I think we've learned that Knabbmaster's a cheat code.
wow. And we're gonna see Enti at 30 damage out of 33, Knabbmaster at 1, almost fully healed from being 10 away from death.
Less than that. I think it was at 27 out of 34
Less
at one
than
point.
that? Yeah, maybe you're right.
And if you could find a way to have gotten the tree down, it's 27 out of 30.
I'm going to go ahead and just skip this upkeep. I don't see Enti really having a path to victory here, so...
Nope, I believe this is called Blaze of Glory.
Let's go ahead and just see what happens.
Have some fun.
I'm curious if Enti's going to... Or I'm curious how Nab is going to finish this. It's going to be a
hurl
boulder. Very classic.
There you go.
Yeah, it's very classic finish here. 4 damage, that is going to end it here.
Fantastic play. Honestly, both players played really, really well.
Yeah.
But Knabbmaster just proving that this is something that it's a whole different level.
I mean, Healing Tree with Panda Bim, with the transfer and regen, it's a very tough thing. You know, you mentioned things like Deathlock. Those are good choices to help.
Deathlock puts you so far behind too. You have no recovery options. I don't think it's a good play here.
Yeah, and of course, you know, splitting it where you're half attacking the mage, half, you know, trying to just recover. That really is, you know, one of the things you see against Druid a lot, and it's tough. So,
Druid does a very good job of forcing you to play their game, and they're better at it than you are. So you have to figure out how to just derail that.
Yeah.
So. You either derail it by killing them before it happens, or derail it by cutting the grass. Sorry, what were you saying, Puddin?
I'd also like to point out that 8 mana Deathlink on Philella was countered by a 5 mana Poison Blood.
Yeah, interesting.
Was it 8 mana?
Yeah, Deathlink is 8 mana, isn't it?
That was 6, but either way, it's still it was countered by what? By Poison Blood, right?
Yeah, and Poison Blood also shut off the regrowth. Right.
Yeah.
So
it shut both off at the same time.
Yeah.
And that is the kind of stuff that Knabbmaster is very good at.
Oh,
He can have
value trades for sure.
Yes, the value trades plus the value trades immediately after you deal with the first one, right? So as soon as Enti gets rid of the Poison Blood, Knabbmaster's got an Unholy Reversal ready.
Yep.
Yeah. Right? Yep. Like immediately. There's no chance to recover before he's got the next thing on.
And that's brilliant. He just sort of like chains those ideas together. Like, you're gonna want to get rid of this, now we'll chain into this, and then we're wasting.
One of the other things that I think Enti could have also done, with complete hindsight now that we've seen the whole game, instead of the second Battle Forge, is cast Cercerix, because you already have out the ring. If you're gonna cast Curse every other turn anyway, you might as well have something that can help with the actions there for that part too.
It's interesting.
So your mage can concentrate on using the full action with the lash to attack things, and the quick cast to help clean up whatever the lash can't kill. I think that's the best way to attack the grass, while still keeping a little bit of pressure on either the druid or putting, honestly, Mage Bane on Philella is kind of an interesting idea.
Yeah, I am always a fan of the, you know, level 3 or 4 creatures against Druid, because you need them to survive, and you need them to just support, you know?
Or alternatively, put the Gura onto Philella from the beginning, and it takes 3 turns, or they have to deal with it, right? Like, it's still some kind of attrition battle, and if you have your Wardstone down and they're playing the Dispel game, they're not playing the take over the board with plants game. So, you gotta make them do something different than what they want to do. But... yeah, no, it was extremely well played by Knabbmaster, and I thought Enti played a great game too. That just didn't work out this time. Well,
the championship match is best 2 out of 3, so there is at least one more match. There could be 2 if Enti does take the next one. So I just want to thank you, Shark, for joining me in the beginning of that commentary. Puddin for joining.
Absolutely.
Midway. I hope you enjoyed the game midway through, and just want to say that we are also as a group. Making a game called Arcane Duels, and we've got some of the stuff ready to be kind of play tested and shown. So, you know, if anyone's made it this far in the video and you're interested in kind of seeing this game that we're working on the side here, feel free to join our Discord. It's in the link
Should be in the
under
description,
this video, and just send us a PM and see if you want to just see the game that we're working on too.
We are looking for playtesters to help us refine the game. It's still in development, but yeah, and you need Tabletop Simulator to play it right now. But we would love to have some more testers so we can get more data.
Heck yeah! Well, as I said, best 2 out of 3. So I'll see you next game.